Well, at the time of this taping, Trump has lost the election, but not according to him. In fact, he actually tweeted that he won today.
No.
He said, I won.
Stop it. You know what? I want you to distribute my new show, Vlad, okay? It's called Stop It. Stop It. You just tell people, like, stop it. It's absurd. Stop it. You lost. Not only did you lose, you got whooped. In the popular vote, you got whooped.
5 million votes down.
You got whooped.
And then in the electoral college, he lost by a huge margin.
That's a whooping. And I'll tell you this. Just this whole process has been so exhausting, man. You know what I'm saying? Like, everybody was tense and on edge. You know, my girl, every night, she's like, he's going to win again. I'm like, no, stop saying that. No. We're going to have to move to Canada.
Remember the first night, the first night, it looked like he was going to win. On November 3rd, he was up in all those states. He was up in Georgia.
The early returns was not looking good.
He was up in Pennsylvania. Yeah. You know, Nevada looked kind of shaky. Yeah. It's like, it looks like he's going to win. And we woke up the next morning, and then it was like, hold on.
Right. It was like that old song, Hold Up. Hey.
And
no, they started looking much better. That's true.
Ultimately, he lost.
Look,
he will not concede.
No.
And quite honestly, he's still in office for another 2 months. So I think the craziness is the craziest shit is still coming.
Absolutely. We can't put anything past him. Because we've been sitting around for 4 years saying, watching him trash all norms. And each one, as he gets closer to the next one, we're like, well, there's no way he'll do that. He wouldn't do that, would he? Yeah, he would. He will. He doesn't give a fuck. He doesn't. And like I said, this whole process was so exhausting. And you look at what other voters were going through in Georgia and Alabama and Florida. You know, you got black folks and people of color waiting 6, 7, 8 hours to vote? That's ridiculous. I went to vote here in LA. I went to some a Jewish community center or whatever like that the Friday before the Tuesday. Mm-hmm. I went over there near where I live, and I was in and out in 20 minutes. Like, in, voting, out. There was nobody there. There were 40 cubicles. There was 2 people in there. I came in there, I'm came in there waiting. I'm great. You better have my fucking name on that sheet. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to hear no shit. Name is there. Sent me over. So I posted a video on Instagram. I'm like, look at this. I said, this is a goddamn shame. Why they make it so hard for people to vote? I got some 80-year-old grandmother in line for 5 hours in the rain in Atlanta. And I can just walk in and easy breezy and vote and get the hell out of there. And they make voting so difficult, suppressing the vote in so many different kinds of ways. They're supposed to make voting easier. Huh? Why can't you do it on your phone? They vote for American Idol on the phone, okay? And we have no problem accepting those results, okay? You know what I'm saying? Huh? Kelly Clarkson is the winner, right? We accept that. You didn't see Justin Guarini saying, I'm not going anywhere. No, motherfucker, you lost.
Yeah, well, voting by mail is actually pretty convenient also.
Yeah, I mean, who knew? Who knew? And didn't it end up biting Trump in the ass? He's the one telling me, no, don't use the mail. No, don't use the mail.
Well, he already knew what was going to happen. Mostly Democrats.
Yeah, but his people didn't use it. His people didn't use it.
Well, he knew his people wouldn't use it. His people are stupid enough to show up.
Well, he could have used it. He could have used it because when the mail-ins start coming in, that's when you're talking about. That's when the tide really started turning.
Yep.
Because most of the mail-in ballots that was coming in was on the blue tip.
Exactly.
So we'll see. I'm just like first things first. You know what I mean? He lost the election. That had to happen first. Mm-hmm. Everybody's on high alert, seeing what he's going to do next because he's pretty much capable of anything.
Right. He's talking about pardoning himself.
He's talking about what?
Pardoning himself.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
And I think with Trump is I think he realized that once he steps out of that White House, he might go to prison. I think he might be the first president that actually goes to prison. Everyone around him.
You know what? It's so you say that you look at the whatever the evidence they putting forth. You're like, wow, that looks pretty bad. But this dude, honestly, he's so slippery, man.
Well,
there's no card he won't play.
As the president, he's slippery. But once he loses those presidential,
wouldn't that be something if they were literally waiting right outside the White House gates? Excuse me.
Before you get into that Sprinter. let's go ahead and put these handcuffs
Let me
on.
tell
You.
you something.
Oh no, man! Listen, I would be surprised if he barricaded himself in on his final day and had a couple mercenaries, with guns.
It's amazing how this has all transpired. And I remember 2 years ago, over 2 years ago, Bill Maher and I would have these conversations, and he would go on television and say the same thing. He says, "Yo, man, he ain't gonna leave. He's not." And I'm like, get the fuck out of here. He ain't gonna leave. Like, who? He's like, I'm telling you, he's not gonna leave. He's not gonna accept the election results if he loses, and he's not gonna leave. And I laughed at him. I'm like, get out of here. Pass me that joint, motherfucker. Motherfucker crazy. You see this? And sure enough,
He's not leaving. He
not
has
leaving.
not conceded.
He's not, and he's not going to. And you know what? You know what's wild? And probably somebody like I love when you have DL on, because DL always just knows how to frame it and analyze it and make it funny. But like I said, he just keeps trashing the norms. We think he can't get any lower, but it doesn't appear to be any core there. There's no there. It's just it's just him, man. It's just him.
Well, before he lost the election, you had people like Lil Wayne taking pictures with him. Lil Pump getting on stage with him.
Yeah, but did he mess up Lil Pump's name?
He called him Lil Pimp.
He called him Lil Pup.
Lil Pimp.
You did it, Lil Pimp?
Lil
Okay,
Pimp.
I saw the one I saw. I could have sworn he said like Lil Pup. Did he just call him Lil Pup? Well, whatever it was, he didn't say it right. Lil Pimp.
Lil Pump, by the way, didn't even vote. He didn't even register to vote. They checked.
Really?
So with all that Trump, woo-ha, he didn't even vote.
Look,
for Trump.
you know what? Young people are recording artists, entertainers. Look, obviously you're within your rights to support anybody, any candidate that you want. I'm sure there's some people out there to vote for Kanye. I don't know why, but whatever, or whoever the Green Party candidate was, or what have you. You're allowed to do it, but as a public figure, first of all, everything we do is going to get scrutinized, and this is no different. This is no different. Honestly, I don't think, in terms of like a backlash against the Kanye or Weezy, I don't really see that happening. You know what I mean? And they're still really like prolific in terms of putting out material. You know what I'm saying? Like, we were still buying R. Kelly records and listening to R. Kelly records long after we heard and the things that he was accused of. You know what I'm saying? Like,
right. And there was,
he was. It's weird. He's coming out with some of his best material. You know what I'm saying?
Oh yeah. After there's a video circulating in every swap meet of him peeing on an underage girl. Yeah. And but look at him now.
I saw it.
Yeah.